Thank you, Madison Rising, for giving us that awesome bumpin' intro music. That is Madison Rising. And if you're not familiar with those guys, you really should be. Go to MadisonRising.com because they are truly a pro-Constitution, pro-America, pro-liberty rock and roll band. So that's their little plug, and we appreciate them. And if you guys missed it, we had Dave Bray from Madison Rising on the radio show. What was it? It was a couple months ago.
Yeah.
If you missed it, sorry, but it's in the archives. And if you have access to the archives, or if you want to have access to the archives, you really should be a Student of the Gun grad program member. Because Jared has been in his office tirelessly. We just open the door and throw food at him, and we have him chained to a chair most days. And he's been putting together Student of the Gun. I guess you could call it all access. He's creating an all-access site for grad program members, and this is something that you guys have to look forward to really soon. So make sure you're watching your emails and for the notifications. Speaking of which, we sent out a number of emails. We sent out a number of video links for the Faith in the Patriot launch, and if you haven't had the chance to catch up to those, now's the time to do it. And you're like, who the heck is this guy talking to me? This is my first time listening to Student of the Gun Radio. I don't know who that voice is. Well, welcome and salutations. I am your host, Professor Paul Markle, and I am in the Glass Case of Emotion Studios, located on the glorious Gulf Coast of Mississippi, where we lucked out. God gave us his favor. He showed us his favor July 4th. July 4th, in the evening, there was a chance of storms. It did not storm. We had our fireworks shows. We went down to the beach and had a nice time. Spent some time with the family down there. Then the next day, the sun wasn't even up yet, and the skies had opened, and it rained all freaking day long. So that pretty much put a damper on the Professor Paul doing yard work on Sunday. So it would have been swamp work, or I'd had to do yard work in a rain suit. But it is what it is, and we're happy to be back with you. Now, on the other side of the glass case of emotion is Jared, the studio engineer, the producer of Student of the Gun Radio. And we've got a lot to talk to you about this week. We hope you enjoyed yesterday's program with our buddy Leland Yee. Jared, did you notice that we picked up that story last week, towards the end of the week? And I knew this was going to happen. I knew it would kind of get buried over the weekend and people wouldn't really be paying attention, and then all of a sudden they would. And that's exactly what happened. We cheated. We pre-recorded Monday's radio show, and we had it in the can ready to go for Monday morning. And I get into the studio on Monday morning. I open up the computer, and I start looking through, and the Leland Yee story is everywhere. It was on AmmoLand. It was on the NRA, ILA newsletter. It's everywhere. So you're welcome. You know what that tells you, Jared? You know what that tells them?
What?
It should convince them that if they listen to us, they are on the cutting edge.
The cutting edge.
The cutting edge.
Stuff.
It's not. I could say societal evolution, but that's Rush's thing, so I won't steal that because I'll have to send him a nickel. But what day are we on? Well,
this is Tuesday.
It is Tuesday, and
so. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead. I'm gonna take a bite of my Danish.
I want to read something from you, or for you. It's
from me.
It's from
me?
the.
Me.
It's from the Duffel blog, so it's fake, but it's funny. American suicide bombers attacked Taliban office in Qatar. Or cater.
Qatar.
If they're not catering to you. It says, the complex attack on the facility included a vehicle-borne IED from a Ford F-150, gunmen armed with AR-15s, and Chili's baby back ribs lobbed from outside the compound's perimeter. And then down here it says... reaction in the Taliban stronghold of Waziristan, Pakistan, was swift and somber. Who are these cowards who disguise themselves as civilians and blow up women and children just to, said resident Abdul Rahman Muhammad. Maybe I should rethink some things. Yeah, totally not as cool when it's happening to you.
All right.
The end of his sentence. That's what we do.
There's a lot of that going around in the United States of America, isn't there? Yeah. Okay. Well, let me take a sip of my my morning coffee. We still don't have any Black Rifle coffee, or is it Black Rifle coffee or AR coffee, or what is it?
Black Rifle Coffee Company. I got to get some of that.
Got to get you some of that.
It's caffeinated as
heck.
I almost said it because I was looking at the grad program Facebook page, the Facebook group that I made for the grad program members, and I'm like, oh, I can just go ahead and say this, and then I realized that I can't.
No, this is the family-friendly broadcast hour. Family-friendly. Oh, speaking of family-friendly, you're going to want to gather your family and friends around the radio tomorrow, because we've got part one of our exclusive Student of the Gun interview with Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman. That's right, the author of On Killing and On Combat, and the author of a lot of other stuff, and a lecturer, an instructor, a psychologist, and an all-around good guy. Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman is going to be on with us tomorrow, so mark your calendars. All right, let's go ahead and get right into it. Thank you to SWAT Fuel, our buddies at SWAT Fuel, and if you haven't checked them out yet, they are it's special weapons and tactics for the body. And if you when you read an article from me, there's two things that inspire it. It's the Holy Spirit and SWAT Fuel. And I'm not being glib, and I'm not being facetious. And how many times do you walk in here and you're like, do you take SWAT Fuel?
Yes, that's what I said, too, when he was writing that article. It was on Friday,
yep,
I believe. Yeah. Or no, it was Saturday.
Saturday. I came in on Saturday. I came in the morning of Saturday, July 4th, and wrote an article for you turkeys. You're welcome. And Jared said, are you taking SWAT Fuel?
Yeah.
I said,
I came in, we were doing fight team training, sparring on Saturday at 2 p.m., and I came in, and he was like, idea after idea, and he kept talking really fast, and I was like, dude, did you take SWAT Fuel? He's like, yeah, I did. How'd you know?
And SWAT Fuel's over the counter.
Mm-hmm. Well, there are always counters involved. Did you know that? Doesn't matter what you buy. A counter is always there.
Not if you're buying drugs in a parking lot.
That's true. That is true. So you can go SWAT Fuel promo code, go to SWATfuel.com, click on the store button, or you can just go to SWATfuelstore.com, use the promo code SOTG2015, and that'll get you 10% off your entire order. Now, if you're a grad program member, go back to your email that I sent you and click on the link and use that promo code because you'll get 20% off.
There you go. All right. Well, it is Tuesday. I want to thank our friends Velocity Triggers. VelocityTriggers.com is pretty simple. You got a Black Rifle, they got a trigger for you, and you can put it in at your own kitchen table, your workbench, whatever you want to do. You could probably install it at the range if you wanted to, but be careful, because if you lose those little pins, you're going to be hating life. Crossbreed holsters. You want to carry a gun? You should be carrying a gun. If you're not carrying a gun, you're wrong. What are you wrong like?
Something that we can't say on. Oh,
can we? Can.
Yeah, we can.
That's how they heard it.
Yeah, you're wrong.
Oh, and thank you. Is this the first show we've done since we got our stickers from Kurt?
Yeah.
our twisted sense of humor fan listener person Kurt up there in Ohio. You know you're listening. You know who you are. We got. You guys know that about 2 weeks ago, and if you don't, listen up. About 2 weeks ago or so, Jared put out a challenge, and he said, if you guys give a company that has stickers. You know, you're like, I have the XYZ Guns and Gear Company, and we have official stickers. He said, well, send them along, and we'll stick, because right now, or at the time, our refrigerator was naked. And we thought, what the heck? We'll put stickers on it. So we opened it up. Jared gave you the address. You can send them, attention, Sticker Gnome. Well, Kurt had some stickers made of phrases that come from Student of the Gun Radio, such as Derpa Derpa and DJ Jazzy Jared. And he had another one that I really appreciated, and we put a picture of it up on the Instagram and on the grad the grad program Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's called Wrong Like Dick Cancer. That is the name of the sticker. So if you're not carrying a gun right now and you're listening to me, you are wrong like dick cancer, unless you can reach it in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, if you could put your hands on a gun in less than 5 seconds, even if it's not on you, you're still good. Crossbreed Holsters. Check those guys out at crossbreedholsters.com. All right, the first story for today comes to us from our friends at ammoland.com. And the story, it's The story is reported from, as my computer slowly opens. There we go. Breaking news. Another federal court unravels the Second Amendment gun rights. What? Come on now. Now, this was posted on June 29th, but we thought it was, given what's been going on with the federal courts, how the federal courts have just decided that it is their purview, it's their job to tell everyone in America, the individual states, how they can live and what they can and can't do. We have like an oligarchy of traders in black robes up there. And this comes to us from Firearms Policy Coalition, Dateline, Denver, Colorado, as reported in AmmoLand. In yet another decision that thumbs its nose at the Supreme Court's landmark D.C. versus Heller and McDonald versus Chicago rulings, the 10th Circuit Court, and you're like, well, I know the 9th is full of lunatics, but what about the 10th? The 10th Circuit Court of Appeals held today, and that was on the 29th, that the Second Amendment does not protect gun rights outside of one's home. You're like, oh, come on. That can't possibly be the case. But listen up. The case, Bonity versus United States Postal Service, challenged 39 CFR 231, blah, 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 which prohibits the storage and carriage of firearms on USPS property. The district court... Now, before we get on, where does the government get the money to buy property? Jared, where do they get it? Do they get it like from Mars or from Venus, or do they go to the moon and they mine money and then they purchase property with the money they mined from the moon? Where do they get that money, Jared?
I'm going to go ahead and say they get it from the taxpayers.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. Give yourself a gold star. That's right. The federal government. I love when they say, this is federal government property. No, Dick Nozzle. It's not federal government property. It's property that was purchased with my money and my neighbor's money and my grandparents' money and my great-grandparents' money. It's not your money, dickless. I am so sick to... I didn't mean to go off, but it's too late. Off I have gone. I am so sick of this peasantry ruling class. Damn. Write that down. Write down the time. But, all right, going on here. It says, Circuit Judge David M. Ebel, another Ronald Reagan appointee to decide against gun rights, what's up with that, was joined by Circuit Judge Gregory A. Phillips, and a Barack Obama appointee, in the decision. Now, here's a quote from the decision. We, the ruling class scumbags, conclude that the regulation is constitutional as to all USPS property at issue in this case, including the Avon Post Office parking lot, because the Second Amendment right to bear arms has not been extended to, quote, government buildings. And government buildings in this context includes government-owned parking lots connected to a post office. Alternatively, even if we were to conclude that the parking lot did not qualify as a government building, although they have, we would uphold this regulation as constitutional as applied to the parking lot under independent intermediate scrutiny. All right. And it goes on to say here, ignoring McDonald's command that the Second Amendment right does not protect second-class rights. You know what second-class rights are? Essentially, this is where someone tries to assert that it's their right to overstep your right as an individual. Okay, you have certain rights, God-given rights, rights that were affirmed by the Bill of Rights, not granted, but affirmed. And then someone says, so which one supersedes? Well, historically in the United States of America, before we went insane as a nation, what they understood was that the rights of the individual were the most important of all. The inalienable rights were the most important rights of all, and all other considerations were secondary. Unless, now check this out. This is really what should raise the hair on the back of your neck. In a quote, the 10th Circuit Court held that, quote, the risk inherent in firearms and other weapons distinguishes the Second Amendment right from other fundamental rights that have been held to be evaluated evaluated under a strict scrutiny test, such as the right to marry and the right to be free from viewpoint discrimination. Did I just read that right? Did this judge just say there was a right to be free from viewpoint discrimination? Where in the Bill of Rights does it say, is that like Bill of Right number 28 or under the bill, Amendment 28, you have the right to be free from viewpoint discrimination. What? Okay, which can be exercised without creating direct risk to others. Now check this out. So what this judge, this sitting federal court judge is saying is that because the Second Amendment involves guns and weapons, and those are dangerous, it must be controlled or more greatly scrutinized than the other ones because they don't create a direct risk to others. Do you ever want to look into the soul of a human being? You do? Jared, you want to look into the soul of a human being? Close your mouth, open your ears, and listen to what they say. And they will tell you exactly what is within their soul. And this court, this judge, the judge who gave this statement, is letting us look directly into his soul. And what he's saying is that all of you constitutional pro-Second Amendment people need to understand this, that because guns are dangerous, they need to be more greatly restricted. That whole Second Amendment, what he's saying is that the Second Amendment, the right to keep and bear arms, is not on the same footing as the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment and the Fifth Amendment and so forth. Other inalienable rights supersede, or I guess they're easier to work with. Do you know the purpose of the Second Amendment, Jared? What's the purpose of the Second Amendment?
To protect the other amendments, to protect all of your rights, all of your God-given rights.
Absolutely. And it's like when people say, oh, guns are dangerous. Yeah, no kidding. If they weren't, they're supposed to be dangerous. That is the whole point. If guns weren't dangerous, there would be no point in having them. What? Yeah, exactly. This ruling should scare the crap out of you because they just established federal judicial precedent, which means if this comes up again in another circumstance, what the court can say then is, well, we're just going to defer to the judgment of the 10th Circuit Court. And I know you say that the Second Amendment guarantees you the right to keep and bear arms, but what we've decided is that is not an absolute right. That is a privilege. Here's the deal. If a right is not an absolute right, it's a privilege. If a right can be modified, changed, altered, and restricted, then by definition, it's not a right. You say, well, you have the right to do that, but, only under certain circumstances. And we can alter those circumstances daily, weekly, monthly, yearly, whenever we see fit, which is what we've seen in the United States of America for 80 to 90 years, is the courts and the legislature just modifying and altering the Second Amendment as they see fit, because it is dangerous and you people can't be trusted. You peasants can't be trusted with these dangerous objects. So we have to make laws to keep you safe. And then when the legislature gets in trouble, when the people are like, hey, turd, I'm going to vote you out of office so you don't get all your cool free stuff anymore and you lose your power. Oh, well, we in Congress are going to close our mouths about this then. But they still want it. Big Brother still doesn't want peasants to have guns. So where do they push it off to? Hey, if we push this off to the courts, judges aren't elected. The peasants can't do anything about the courts because we appoint them for life. So the courts They can say and do anything they want, and the peasants just have to suck it. What a great idea. What if we could create an autonomous agency, an agency that is not beholden at all to the taxpayers? And the taxpayers get angry and stomp their feet, and they're like, no, you can't do that. And they're like, we don't care what you think. We've granted ourselves the authority to dictate to you. Wouldn't that be a neat scheme? Yeah, it would be a neat scheme, and it kind of seems like it's going on right now. All right. As we progress,
You want to?
what is my? Oh, there we go. My little pop-up bubble was covering some of my show notes. I had to close that. Did you want to say something, sweetheart?
No, I was just say we go ahead and thank
Frog Loop?
Yeah, thank Frog Loop.
We should thank Frog Loop because I want to thank them. What am I going to thank them for?
Thank them for making this possible. Thank them for creating a minty smelling lube.
Minty fresh, non-petroleum based green lube that you put on your guns and make them run and run and run and run.
Yep.
Now, here's the caveat. Frog Lube does not mean, putting Frog Lube on your gun does not mean that you no longer ever have to clean it. What? But I don't want to ever have to clean my guns. I know. But every once in a while, you might want to take a putty knife and scrape off the year's worth of gunk that's built up on your gun. And you can do that with Frog Lube because they have solvent. They have solvent? Yeah. It's crazy. You spray the solvent on, you scrub it, you wipe it down, clean it off, take an old T-shirt, wipe your gun down, then put the green Frog Lube CLP. That stands for Cleaner, Lubricant, and Protectant. CLP is not a brand name. CLP is a acronym for anything you put on your guns to clean, lubricate, and protect them. You put the green CLP on, and then you drive on. How cool is that? And the cool thing about Frog Lube is if you do it right, you start with a clean gun, you apply the Frog Lube, you go out, you use it, it keeps the carbon from building up on it. Now, you still get funk in your guns because shooting is dirty. That's just the way it is. But it makes cleaning easier. And Century Arms. So what am I going to clean? I'm going to clean my Century Arms guns. AKs don't always have to be cleaned. As a matter of fact, some people get really angry when you clean their AK for them. Jay, sorry. I didn't do that, but I know the story. Jay came in one morning to the shop. He goes, "Who cleaned my AK?" He was angry. Because he had the perfect amount of carbon built up on his AK, and then some rat fink went and cleaned it. Century Arms is the sponsor of the Student of the Gun mobile app. They're a sponsor of Student of the Gun radio, and they make the C39 100% made in the USA AK, and the TP9 SA, and the TP9 V2, because we're trying to please everybody. If you really, that's the crazy thing is they're like, we had Group A was like, the TP9, I kind of like it, but I don't like that trigger. Blah, 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 blah. So like, all right, we're going to make a new one. We're going to redesign the configuration, and we're going to put a new trigger in it, like a Glock. Not a Glock trigger, but like a Glock. And they're like, I don't like that. All right, I want the double action decock version. Okay, we'll make one of those for you. But that's it. We're not changing it anymore. I don't know. They might. It's not up to me. Okay, moving on. Now, we thanked our buddy Kurt earlier for the stickers, and it is very apropos that we would have a story that includes his absolute favorite song in the whole wide world.
Tiptoe through the window, by the window, that is where I'll be. Come tiptoe through the tulips with me.
Thank you, Tiny Tim, for giving us the Vagination Report theme song. And it's been a while since we've done a Vagination Report, but when I saw this story, when this story jumped in front of my eyes, first of all, I was sad. I was sad that we're so weak and flaccid as a nation that this even is a story. But the story comes to us from news.yahoo.com, and let me see. Breaking news report. Police respond to an unconfirmed report of a shot fired at Walter Reed. Well, we know about unconfirmed reports. I heard a loud noise and it made me scared. Send the SWAT team. Yeah. Well, whip out your gun and go find out what's going on. Here we go, folks. This. Controversy over Baltimore police van sign, quote, "Enjoy your ride, 'cause we sure will." This story is datelined Derpa Derpa. What is it? 3 days ago. As we do this, the controversy comes after Freddie Gray's autopsy reportedly revealed that he suffered a high-energy spine injury while in the back of a police van. Jared, the actual audio is only like a minute and a half. You want to go ahead and play it for them, just so that you can get the gist of how much they're tinkling in their panties here in Baltimore.
To Baltimore now, and the discovery inside a police van threatening to reignite tensions in that city all over again. The police custody death of Freddie Gray triggering violent protests this spring. 6 officers charged after he suffered a severe spinal cord injury following a rough ride in a van. Tonight, this sign found inside another van. Its message, "Enjoy your ride, 'cause we sure will." Here now, ABC senior national correspondent Jim Avila with the controversy and the new investigation.
Tonight, outrage about what's written behind the door of this Baltimore police van. In this photo obtained by ABC News, you can clearly read, "Enjoy your ride, 'cause we sure will." It was in just such a police transport van that Freddie Gray died in police custody. And now Baltimore police announcing an internal investigation to find out who put those words there, calling the sign concerning and unacceptable.
You should have some type of consequence, suspension or some time off without pay.
Freddie Gray's autopsy found he suffered a high-energy neck and spine injury while in the back of the police van. Some Baltimore police have been accused in the past of purposely giving rough rides as a means of torture. Christine Abbott, an assistant librarian at Johns Hopkins University, is suing Baltimore, claiming cops gave her a maniacal drive while in handcuffs after she was arrested for a noise violation.
It was horrifying. I mean, we were bumping around. I couldn't hold on to anything. It was just really scary.
Baltimore police deny her allegations. As for the 6 officers charged in connection with Freddie Gray's death, their trial is scheduled to begin this fall.
Woo! Yeah. Like, well, boy, why'd you make this imagination? Are we so weak? As in, you want to know why we have problems in America? Do you want to know why your cities are burning? Because we are so weak and so flaccid. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and keep using that word. Really? That's so. Do you know why people are in the back of a police van? Jared, why are people in the back of a police van?
Because they aren't doing anything wrong.
Because they're poor and homeless. And
yep.
Not everybody that's arrested is guilty of a... Oh, shut up. Yes, I know that not everyone... you're not guilty until... Listen, the people that are going... All right, 99.99874% of all people that are put in the back of a police van are there for a really good reason. They're in the back of the police van because the vast majority of them are recidivist criminals. And guess what? They haven't been there before. Or they have been there before. This ain't their first ride.
They're saying that this is stemming from the Freddie Gray thing. Did you guys look at his criminal history? That wasn't his first
recidivist criminal?
Yeah, that wasn't his first rodeo in that van.
Freddie Gray knew exactly what the back of a police van looked like.
He probably knew where that sign was and exactly what it said, because he's been there so many times.
So the words, it's unacceptable. And you like how ABC News is standing over there squirting gasoline onto the wood? They're squirting the gasoline onto the wood, hoping that it's going to catch fire again, because riots are really good for TV ratings. Don't ever forget that. Riots are great. They're like stoking the flames. Go ahead and play the beginning of that again. I want the people to hear that. Exactly what... Oh, I'm sorry. Did I screw you up there, engineer guy?
Yeah, just hold on a sec. Keep talking.
No, I want you to hear what they say. And never, ever, ever forget that what used to be the Fourth Estate is now the propaganda arm for big government. And what did they say? They said sparking or inflaming or risking more violence or more whatever, reigniting.
I don't know. We're going to replay it, though.
More now, and the discovery inside a police van threatening to reignite tensions in that city all over again.
There.
The police
That's
custody
it.
death of Freddie Gray triggering
That's
violent
it. That's all I wanted to
protests
hear.
this spring.
Threatening
6 officers charged
to
after
reignite violence all over again. Really? So those words. All right. So who is it that in a photo obtained by ABC News? So who is it that is threatening to reignite violence all over again? Who is promoting this story? Who's basically profiting from this story that was created? Is it ABC News? Folks, I don't even know what to tell you. I don't. Yep. Oh, and essentially the news media has already convicted all of these cops. And let me tell you how this works. In a world of sensibility, you and I both know that the chances of these police officers being found guilty of like premeditated homicide or what have you is pretty damn slim. And what's going to happen in discovery is that a jury is going to have to sit and listen to all of innocent little Freddie Gray, the drug dealer, the recidivist criminal drug dealer. They're going to have to listen to all of that. And they're actually, unlike the people, the headline surfers that, read the headline and make their comments or read the first sentence of the story if they even read it at all or listen to it. Unlike those people that can make up their minds, the jury's going to have to listen to all of it, all of the evidence, all of the autopsy reports, everything. So I suppose what we can look forward to is more violence in America's cities because that's what they want. This is not an accident. They'll truck people in. What do we know about the former Acorn organization paying people to protest? They'll bring them in on vans and buses to, quote, protest. But who wins? Jared, who wins? Who gets the advantage when the cities burn? Is it you or I?
The media, really.
And, the media is just a puppet. They're just a puppet of the big government. All right, there you go with their conspiracies again. I don't know. Well, when the cities burn, and the first thing that all they come out and say is, well, we need to look into these local police agencies, and we need to have the federal DOJ jump in and do a pattern and practice investigation. Who's grabbing the authority? I don't know. Answer for yourself. We thought you'd appreciate that update. Oh, and just a side note here. Did you see that the mayor in Baltimore has decided that they want to issue the Baltimore Police Department better riot control gear? I thought the police were the problem. Make up your mind, you schizophrenic fool. So the police are the problem, but we need to get them better riot control gear. So the next time that I go in front of the cameras and tell people that we give them... Why do Baltimore police need better riot control gear when their own mayor and their own police chief told them to stand down and give the people room to destroy? Why do they need riot control gear if they're not going to control the riot?
I don't know.
Don't you need to control the riot before you use riot control gear? You just expect way too much of people, Paul. All right. Moving on to the next topic. Thank you, Brownells. Brownells.com. You got a gun? Brownells has got something for you. Check them out and make sure that you're looking at their new products page. And also, Duracoat, our newest sponsor here on Student of the Gun Radio. You're like, Duracoat, I've heard that name, but I'm not sure. Here's the dealio. You can buy Duracoat directly from them at Lauer Custom Weaponry. You can buy it from Brownells. You can probably buy it from a number of outlets. And you're like, well, I'm not a custom gun finisher. I don't have all the gear and the compressors and the brushes and air brushes and what have you. I don't have all that stuff, so I can't do it. That was true 5 years ago. That's no longer true today. Thanks to the miracle of can-in-can technology, you, the guy who's listening to me, the guy who can sit at his own workbench and put in a velocity trigger, if you can do that, you can put a Duracoat finish on your own gun in your own garage, backyard, shop, whatever. Make sure you have ventilation. You need that. But you can do it. Follow the directions. Now, we've posted, how many pictures have we posted, Jared? Innumerable pictures on Student of the Guns Facebook and Instagram and all that of Duracoat projects that we've done. You can do it too. So check those guys out. Duracoat has a Facebook page. You can go to Lauer Custom Weaponry.
Thank you guys for actually taking the time to.
Yeah, thank you very much for doing that.
There's been a few of you have went on to Duracoat's page and said thanks for sponsoring SRTG Radio. And obviously they enjoy reading those because they know what channel that they're spending their money on works. That's just how it is.
Yeah, that's business. That's how it works.
Yeah, that's business. That's how it works. And then we appreciate it just because we do. We appreciate you guys letting them know that. And they've been with us for a while now.
Yeah, a good long while.
They're our friends. We appreciate them. They appreciate us.
They're patriots. And that's who we like to work with, genuinely, seriously, at Student of the Gun. The people that sponsor Student of the Gun, they're here because the people that own and run the companies they're not just businessmen. They're not vacuum cleaner salesmen. They're not trying to sell blenders. They're here because they care about the fate of the nation. They genuinely care about not just the Second Amendment, but the entire Bill of Rights. They care about the founding. Steve Lauer is one of those people. He is a patriot. And today, Tuesday, the 7th of July, is the day that the Patriot Fire Team, Faith in the Patriot. I'm talking about my old book when my new book is out. Faith in the Patriot, a belief worth fighting for. We've been working on this. I've been really super excited to make it available to you. And you're like, all right, well, yeah, you're just trying to pimp your book. Brothers and sisters, listen to me. Why is this important? Why is it important in this day and age? Because you may be listening to me, and I know that I have Jews listening to me. I know that I have agnostics listening to me. I suppose there are a few like conservative atheists listening. People that, or like your Easter Jews and your Christmas Christians that are like, well, I believe in a higher power, but I don't really know what that power is, and I was like, okay, whatever. Let me tell you this: faithful patriots, the existence of faithful patriots in the United States of America benefits everybody, everyone. What do you mean it benefits everyone? Well, folks, even if you are agnostic, even if you are atheist, even if you're Hindu, even if you're Buddhist, the existence of faithful patriots in your nation provides a foundation. It provides a backbone of strength. It provides something that you can't have when everybody's just running around being selfish. Yes, right now in the United States of America, we have thousands upon millions of really distracted, selfish people. People that care nothing about the future. People that care nothing about future generations. It's all, what can I get now? Me. What phone do I have? Whatever. Distractions. Is there a game on? All that nonsense. And they care nothing about that. Now, the reason that, and even when we were talking to E.J. Owens on his show, he goes, some people talk about, faith, and some people talk about patriotism. He goes, and both of those right now in 2015 are controversial, which I find ridiculous. I can't even believe that I live in a nation where supporting the nation and the founding of the nation and the history of the nation is now controversial. It's not controversial, but it's the exact same culprits, the same usual suspects that want your cities to burn, that want you to just shut your mouth and sit down and do what you're told. Those same people are telling you, well, you can't fly a flag there on that college campus or in your neighborhood. And let me tell you what, if you're a member of a homeowners association, you're wrong like dick cancer. Oh, no, you don't understand, Paul. It's a beautiful house, and in order to own that house, yeah, and I had to sell my soul. I had to cut my nuts off and put them in a bag and hand them over. Bros, stop giving up your liberty. Stop surrendering your freedom so that you can have more stuff. That just occurred to me, Jared. That is essentially where we are. You want to know why the United States of America is the United States of America of 2015? It's because people are more concerned about getting stuff. Well, we have this cool, shiny new stuff, but if you want it, you're going to have to surrender some more of your liberty. Well, that's okay. I wasn't using that liberty anyway. You can take it. Take my liberty. Just give me a new iPhone 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Is there a game on? Dancing with the Stars? That, in a nutshell, right there. We have too many people that are willing to surrender their liberty and to just throw away their any faith or patriotism for the promise of shiny new free stuff. We don't need more of those people in this nation. We need fewer. And, folks, the reason, and you may be thinking, well, this Paul Markle guy, I used to like him. I used to like him when he talked about Ruger 1022s. And that's, Jared, have we altered the message of this show from day one to today?
No.
If you go back to episode 1, which would be kind of funny to me, I'm not even going to listen to it because it's just silliness. It was like 32 minutes long or something. Episode 1, Student of the Gun Radio. But I find it strange that people are like, well, at first, but, she's changed. I haven't changed at all. I mean, we talk about different subjects from day to day to day, but I haven't changed. We haven't changed our message. And I don't understand how people could say, well, this guy, all of a sudden, he's trying to da-da-da-da. Folks, I didn't write this book. I didn't write Faith in the Patriot to convert you to Christianity. I'm not trying to do that at all. Well, what? But yeah, that's what you guys do. That's what you Christians do. You're always trying to force your beliefs on other people. Yeah, that's exactly it. No, that's not why I did it. I wrote it because I want those of the faith to have something more than what they're getting. I want them to have more information than they've been given in their whole lives. I want them to get a little bit of clarity. I want you to have... Folks, I really want to inspire you. I want to give you motivation. I want to help you to be strong. Because right now is not the time for weakness. Right now is not the time for capitulation. It's not the time for subservience. Right now is not the time to close your mouth and be politely quiet. We've done that. We've been doing that. Christians throughout this nation have been reasonable and polite and quiet and subservient. And what do we have? We have a nation that is the modern-day Gomorrah. We have a nation that's crumbling around us. And we stand frustrated, say, how did this happen? Why is it, what? Every day there's more and more horror in the news. There's horror everywhere. And you say, why? Well, I don't understand why this is. We need more laws. We need more laws. We need more restrictions. We need more government. No, we don't. We need more faithful people. We need more people that are willing to go back and read the instructions. Yeah, go back and read the instructions. They're there. It's really simple. It's amazing. Go back and read the Declaration of Independence. Read it. Read the whole thing, not just the first 2 paragraphs. Read the whole thing, and you're going to be like, wow. That could have been written yesterday, and the word Parliament and King could have been substituted for President and Congress. There's warnings about activist judges. There's warnings in the original papers about the courts deciding for themselves to legislate. Yeah. It's all there. You just need to avail yourself to that. Faith in the Patriot was written to give those of faith who are frustrated. They're like, dude, I'm told, and you're not just frustrated because the federal government or the state government is telling you to do things. They're frustrated because they go to a church and the guy up in front basically is pulling the party line. The guy up in front is telling them, be a good little slave. Do what the government says. Be quiet. Be subservient. Be reasonable. Don't argue. They leave churches. I did. Quite frankly, I haven't found a real church that I've been able to get behind for a long time because they've embraced populism. Well, society has decided that certain behaviors are okay now. Well, if society's decided, then we're going to go ahead and modify the church's standing on that. Dudes, this is not modifiable. Of course, I'm holding up the Bible, and you can't see it because this is radio. It doesn't say, well, whatever whims the pop, and you say, well, how does that have to do with faith and the Patriot? It's the same problem. We have modern society that looks at the Bill of Rights and says, well, yeah, I know it says that, but today we've all agreed. And you're a gun person? Oh, you are? You want to play the populist game? Because if you play the populist game, this is what happens. The media gets together and decides that no one in the media likes guns and no one likes the fact that you have them. And so they hammer you with story after story after story about gun violence. And they make you think that the majority of people want greater restrictions. So let's just say that they do that. So you have the Second Amendment right to keep and bear arms. But the majority has decided that the popular thing to do is to go ahead and restrict your liberties. So that's what we're going to do. Because whenever we convince enough morons to support one cause, or to be ignorant, or to be distracted, or to be guilty, we'll just go ahead and change it. We're just going to change it. No, you don't do that. You don't change the Bill of Rights. You don't change the Constitution just because of the whims of modern populists. And that's the exact same thing that's going on in our churches. We're modifying, we're watering down, we're changing our belief systems because, well, you know, people in modern society have decided. Dudes and dudettes, the warnings are there. We knew this was coming. I'm not going to belabor the point, but I knew I needed, and we'll be talking about it more, but I knew I needed to take a moment to clarify because some of you out there are like, well, I don't get it. Why is Paul talking about this? You know, the old axiom is you never speak about religion or politics in polite conversation. And the only people that do that, the only people that follow those advice are faithful people and conservative people. The other ones, they stick it in your face all the time. And they tell you what you have to. And so what happens when you close your mouth? You're creating you're assenting to that. Silence is assent. By shutting your mouth and not saying anything, you are agreeing with your silence. Well, I don't believe that. Yeah, well, you never said anything about it. Well, what am I supposed to do? I don't know. What are you supposed to do? Just sit back and watch your nation crumble. Watch your world fall apart. Wonder why it's happening. I don't know why it's so terrible out there. Yeah, you don't know why, or you do know why. But you're afraid to say anything. The time to be quiet, the time to be silent is over. It's over. It's past. It's long since passed. But we tried the reasonable game. We tried the get-along game. We tried the politeness game. And our enemies use our reasonableness. They use our politeness. They use it against us to weaken our position and strengthen theirs. All right, Jared pointed to the clock on the wall, and it says that I've been going for 50 minutes, which means it's about time for me to close my mouth and to tell you this. Thank you very much for joining us today. I appreciate it. And we will be back tomorrow, I promise, unless, well, no, I promise. There's nothing that can stop me from coming back tomorrow.
If you guys aren't on the Faith in the Patriot launch list, then go to studentofthegun.com and watch the video that's on there. It's the very first video in the series. And then give us your email address and your name, and we'll make sure that you get the rest of the videos, and then you'll have access to the book as well. Now, what we're doing, what Dad and I decided to do for the people that buy the book within the first 48 hours is we're going to give you a free copy of the ebook. So you'll have 48 hours to make your purchase of the physical book, and you'll immediately get the ebook, and then we'll ship you the physical book when they come in, which should be in the next couple of days. Yeah. And the reason we decided to do that is because we know a lot of you have mobile devices, or you read books on your iPad or your iPhone or whatever, and we wanted to give those of you who are paying attention, who are who are signed up for that list, an opportunity to get the ebook for free. Because they are going to be, both of them will be available for purchase after the fact, but we want to make sure that we give you guys the opportunity to get the ebook for free.
All right, thank you, Jared. All right, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, remember this. You're a beginner once, but you should indeed be a student for life.